Where do you want to start?
I think it'll be good to talk about when this business started. We had the ability to generate leads and help businesses grow, and we understood that there's a whole world of things that go with just generating the inquiry.
Yeah.
Because really, like, the inquiry bit now, generating inquiries for clients has turned into, well, okay, what happens before that? What do they see in the awareness stage? What happens as soon as they land in confirmation stage? And that's
I think there's a culture of people being comfortable with buying leads, right? So
yep.
What we do is a bit different in as much as we try and stop that reliance on buying leads, and there's an opportunity, if you like, to influence consumers way before the initial ad that's pushing sales. And I think there's a strong difference between promotional advertising and sales marketing, results driven marketing, conversion and all these sorts of things. From a lot of the conversations we have regularly with clients and potential clients is that they're stuck in this I've got to buy so many leads mentality, whereas actually the thing that makes the most difference is the knowledge and awareness and the like and the trust around a brand and all that kind of stuff, you know. And they kind of approach marketing from opposing ends of the spectrum, if you like. You know, you're very much digital marketing focused, and I'm much more kind of psychological, what people think, the emotional side.
The good thing about that is they tie into the same thing. We're both results focused, whether we come from this end or this end. Same with all of our team. Whatever angle, like, you know, more creative side, is still results focused, like what makes this work versus this.
I think it's an understanding of why, isn't it? Like why an ad looks a particular way, why it's a particular colour, how it stands out in the, if you like, in the mess of all the other ads that are out there, you know.
And you said about sales marketing, you can go out there as a business and there's all these things you can do, like SEO, social media. You can pay £500 a month for someone to do the post for you.
We have the same thing as well. You're inundated with emails saying, oh, what if we put 10 leads into your business, and what if we installed a sales closer, and what if we did like SEO, all these, like, you know, we'll do you a brand new website for £200 and all this sort of stuff. And it's great, but it's just noise, isn't it, really?
It's all noise, yeah. That's exactly the same thought process. It's just, and to be fair to clients and people and businesses, how the hell are you meant to know what works, what doesn't, when you've got an SEO company saying SEO is the best thing in the world, you should buy our services. You've got a social media company saying social media is the best thing in the world, posting, you should buy our services. You've got lead generation companies saying just buy leads, it's way better, way easier. Like, how the hell are you meant to know what to do?
I think people that have been there, done it, and have been successful will probably tell you it's a mixture of all of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, there's not one secret ingredient. There's no secrets or any smoke and mirrors. The more you do of all, the better results you kind of get. But all they're ultimately doing is aiding in that ability to move a potential client down the funnel, if you like, from awareness into interest, desire, action, etc. Like those kind of steps. And not many people understand how to get somebody from awareness stage into taking action stage. It's a difficult process, isn't it?
This happens to every business owner. Like, you can find yourself searching for the one thing, like what's the quick win, golden nugget, magic pill thing, but that rarely happens. And in the introduction of AI into the business world and the world hints to that as well. It's like, all of these tools are great, and they can help save time and do all these things, but there's no replacement for hard work and strategy.
For sure. And knowledge and experience, I think, you know, and understanding kind of what does and what doesn't work, which kind of leads us to kind of where we're at today. We've kind of, if you like, merged our brilliant skills across the whole spectrum into a business that is it's full of knowledge, understanding, but a lot of guidance, a lot of love and support, a lot of care, a lot of kind of best techniques and practice, but it's all based on what we know works. And I think that sets us apart in almost, you know, we kind of know how to go from A to B, but the destination isn't B, the destination is to get all the way to Z. And I think, you know, some agencies out there and some marketing people are great at the initial bit, but they don't understand the rest. Some website companies are brilliant at building an awesome website, but they don't understand the role and the purpose of that website in the greater funnel, if you like, of the marketing process or the sales process. I think marketing is just a small element in that as well. I think the whole process is the whole key, isn't it? It's marketing is just a small ingredient.
I was laughing then because videographers, and this is why I was laughing, Chris. Videographers are one of the worst for this because they are very, very, very good at what they do, the filming, the editing, all of that. But there's an element missing for most videographers, and we've seen this loads. Is like the copy, the marketing copy, like
it's the end result, like what the ad looks like when it's finished.
So why does that video?
It's almost what version of the ad works best. Like if you film for 30 minutes, for example, and you clip out maybe 10 pieces, we've got the experience and the insight to know actually it was ad number 3 that worked the best, but it was because it said this and this and this, and that's what makes it work. And then you also then gives you an idea as to what you're filming.
It's not tied to production value or anything. It's tied to
nothing wrong with the editing, nothing wrong with the actual concept of the video. It just happened to be that the fact was walking through a hotel lobby or literally something that just caught attention better than another version, for example. And it's years and years of experience that goes into that, but it's also the skill of delivering it, because I think if it doesn't reach the right people and it doesn't carry the right message, i.e. the copy's not right,
who decides if that video is good or not? Like,
it's almost like alignment, isn't it? Like everything needs to be lined up.
It's not getting seen by anyone. Like it's going out on as a post, and it's like friends and family and people who are not really in the market. Like realistically, that video should be going out in the Facebook groups to that industry to see the reaction. If the reaction is positive, perfect. Let's make it.
I love the community element as well. So people building out things like Circle School, and you get loads of people on social media talking about how they're building multi-million-pound communities and things. It's great. Obviously WhatsApp have gone into the community space a little bit. Telegram's been doing it for a long time, and we've had great success using Telegram to launch things like podcasts and websites and all those sorts of things. It's great, but it's all it's doing is it's serving people's needs, and I think that's the biggest thing that people miss. I
like that on communities. Look at how many coaching clients, event clients we work with that have built out these communities and built families around their product that are all heading in the same direction. And we talk about honing in on what works. It's sort of that group element of everyone wants to grow their business, they want results, and they're all going in the same direction, they're all motivating each other, and obviously the revenue opportunity off the back of it is good as well.
I think there's an element as well, and I obviously come from a branding background myself, but Nike don't sell trainers. They sell kind of hope, if you like, and that kind of how it makes you feel when you're wearing their clothes, or they sponsor a lot of upcoming talent and things like that. Amazon don't sell books anymore. It's very much about the convenience of Amazon and things like that, and it's often the message behind the brand. And I think for me personally, branding isn't what the logo looks like or what color you're using or what font, and people get so tied up in that visual stuff. It's generally how you make people feel, and there's obviously a rational element, like I need this, so I want to have a look on Google and see if I can find it, versus I need this because I want to go on holiday to a nice place, or I want nice clothes, or whatever it happens to be. So it's the aspiration of the end user really that's important. But brand's kind of what you tell people it is, and you just then nurture that process gently. You've got the power through marketing, through if this is the very first time you've seen us speaking, for example, we have the ability to then persuade you that we know what we're talking about and we're very good at what we do over a series of time. Your first impression doesn't matter quite so much in the marketing space now.
I don't know who they're saying, where it's come from, but it's always stuck with me. Best product doesn't win, best marketing does. And there's all of our clients, I genuinely think, honestly, 95% plus of our clients are very, very good at what they do. They're very good. They run service businesses or product businesses, and they're amazing. But if their marketing is not where it needs to be, and this is prior to coming on board with us, then it doesn't matter. They could have the best product in the world, but if no one knows about them, then they're not going to get anywhere. And
I think it's the function of a lead as well, isn't it? And you look at lead generation in its finest. So we have experience where many leads were generated through a campaign, for example, and people had full diaries. They were able to sit in front of a Zoom and pitch a product, and from a marketing point of view, if you like, that was very successful. They had full diaries, they had loads of opportunities, but it didn't deliver the revenue that business needed as a result, as an output. Yet you then bring those people that were on Zoom into a room collectively and run an event for a group of people, all with the same need, all with the same desire, for example, and then pitch the product at an event with a view to then maybe potentially upselling somebody, that then takes on a completely new mechanism, and that same lead, that same ad, that same mechanism generates much more revenue off the back of. So it's understanding how little variable things, little tweaks here and there make a huge difference to a funnel process or a sales process, you know.
Because there's always this battle between sales and marketing, and actually it shouldn't be a battle, it should be a joint sort of pull in the same direction, because when it does work like that, that's when both parties win. Like, marketing doesn't win if no sales come in, sales don't win if no leads come in.
And the thing is as well, if you don't make sales, you then can't create nice videos of customers saying you guys were awesome, or you know. So a lot of the sales process, the end bit, the result, the end result is not actually the end result, it's the beginning for the next piece of advertising, you know. So the best adverts, as we know, are the ones where the customers are saying, you know, you guys are brilliant, I really enjoyed working with you and I'd highly recommend you. So, you know, much like ourselves, we could sit here and say, you know, we're different, we do all these different marketing things, that's great, and we've got all these results, but actually what matters is our customers saying, you know, we've never tried ads before, we were a bit skeptical, but actually, you know, we've grown from, you know, as an example, like we've gone 2 boilers to 42 boilers in a month, or we used to do 3 kitchens a week a month, and now we're doing, you know, and people might think, oh, that's not possible, it's like, they must be stupidly busy. Well, the concept of that is very simple, they've just grown a business that supports that kind of growth underneath it, you know.
Not thinking in a mindset of, I personally could not do that amount of work. Of course you couldn't. There's teams put in place to do that.
Yeah, we see some comments on some of our other ads that run about, oh, it's just not possible, or they must be really shoddy jobs, and they, well, no, there's a team of people behind that business owner doing it, and he's building himself a successful business off the back of getting his marketing correct and getting his sales strategy right. And I think the two are quite intertwined. You know, it's all very well having loads and loads of leads coming into business, but if you're only closing 1 in 10, for example, you know, your cost per acquisition is going incredibly high, and you're probably not getting the most out of your marketing budget. So it's kind of and everybody in his local area knows about him. They go into his showroom, they quite often say, oh, I saw you guys on Facebook. You know, they always like want to meet the guy, which is great, but also it's like a family business, isn't it? His wife does stuff, his son-in-law does stuff, you know. He has built quite a nice team, but he's got 4 gangs, if you like, 4 teams of people all busy
half
every week, you know.
It's like 4 a week, so two a week might come from new leads and ads. The other 2 probably come from referrals or business.
A lot of marketing agencies will tell you that word of mouth's dead as well. I don't agree with that. I think word of mouth's great and it can perpetuate business, but only if you're driving new sales into your business in the first place. So, and you can only do that through marketing and clever kind of things. So you get more word of mouth the more clients you sell.
But if
you generate a client, if you generate through a piece of marketing, for example.
For businesses that are established and they're good at what they do, they have word of mouth. For new businesses in the online world have popped up over the last couple of years, you can still grow businesses very well like that, but they're almost missing that piece of word of mouth, and that's where that probably comes from.
And you've got to also appreciate that people go to, so Google advertising, for example, is very much kind of search demand driven. I'm looking for something, I'm looking for a solution. And then social media advertising is almost the opposite. You're kind of interrupting people in their scroll of death, or whatever they call it these days. I mean, you know, my daughter kind of scrolls through Facebook at a million miles an hour. I'm not sure she actually see what's actually going on, but you know, you need to kind of grab people's attentions. And you know, we talk a lot about contrasts and what the ads look like. Videos are obviously better than static ads. You're getting the copyright. It's all a mix, isn't it?
You said it earlier, like, you know, you're walking around, you've got billboards, there's just advertisements everywhere. Like,
even like in the town centre, you've got buses, you've got taxis, you've got, you know, you go to a football stadium, you're inundated with marketing messages, TV, you're in the car, the radio's on, you've got ads interrupting you. You know, your kids are playing games nowadays and they're being interrupted by, you know, ads. You go on YouTube, if you're not on the premium version, obviously you're getting interrupted with ads. You go on Spotify, you've got ads breaking you. You know, it's interruption. Like, even Prime Video's gone, you know, like you're paying whatever, £7.99 a month or whatever it is, and you're still getting interrupted with adverts every now and again. You know, it's kind of, that's just the way that, and people consume media in lots of different ways naturally, you know. Different devices as well now. People are looking at things on their laptops, mobiles.
You've got a Meta Quest VR thing, which is a crazy thing.
Well, we were looking at a website this morning, and the guy hadn't even considered that, you know, 80% of people are going to be looking on a mobile, and it was just text on a mobile, you know. It's never ever going to work in a million years, and it's no disrespect to the client, he hadn't got to the stage where he was looking at the mobile version of his website.
In a world where people pay not to see advertisements because they could be annoying or whatever.
Yeah.
The trick from a marketing perspective is for that advertisement, that placement, that thing they see to not be annoying but to be helpful.
Yeah.
And I've never thought of it like this to this level, but that's where the paid ads come in, because you can target people who have that sort of need, and there's a high probability that they need that, and match the two. Like, if
people don't also recognise the connection between, let's say, email marketing and even SMS broadcasting and those kind of things, and the relationship that has between that and your social media posts. And obviously everybody's analytics driven these days. What pops on YouTube, for example, and Instagram and TikTok. You're constantly getting statistics. If you're doing it properly, you're getting statistics and analytics on your views and your open rates and your interactions and all this kind of stuff. And usually those most successful posts, the ones that get the most interactions and likes and what have you, and comments, tend to be the types of contents that work best as ads as well. But there's a completely different psychology to ads, isn't there? So if you want to explain a little bit about how we've kind of developed a bit of a, if you like, a bit of a roadmap, haven't we, to how to structure ads and things?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, just thinking from a client perspective or potential client perspective, the biggest thing is I've tried it before and it didn't work, or I've thought about it or whatever, and there's this reservation around it. And there's two parts to that. One part is you tried it didn't work, could have been the wrong company.
Yeah.
The second part of that is wrong strategy, because fundamentally, without a shadow of a doubt, it works.
Oh, yeah. Proof is there, isn't it?
Yeah, 100 plus clients. 90% of their sales come from paid ads, Facebook and Instagram. So it's either the strategy or who's doing it. And the strategy,
a misalignment somewhere. Usually there's a missing ingredient somewhere, isn't there?
Yeah, sure. And the strategy part, without giving everything fully away, like, it all comes back to the data. Anything that you're doing, you need to be tracking, and you need to be learning constantly what's working for you, for your business, not anyone else's. Like, that's an indication, it helps, it's a base, but your business is your business in your location, so you're going to learn very quickly what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah, and I think marketing ultimately comes down to how effective it is, doesn't it? Yeah, if you're going to judge the effectiveness of a piece of marketing by how many sales you generate, then it needs to say the right things.
Yeah.
It needs to educate the client in the right way that informs them enough to put them in a situation where they can make a buying decision.
And I think that's another good point. If you approach a company for marketing and your end goal is sales, you're underestimating all the stuff that is needed in between. You need sales, marketing, and accountability and coaching. All of those things.
It's a mix, isn't it?
Combined.
And I think, look, there's lots of people that celebrate about getting like 1 million views on the latest TikTok and stuff, and that's great. But you say, well, but how many sales did that generate? The answer is sometimes you just don't know, but it might be an indirect thing. They might interact with the next thing they see, for example. So it's not saying it doesn't work, it's not effective, but it's very difficult to predict or to hit a sales target, for example, based on how many impressions your last Instagram got. It's just impossible to manage it.
It's quality over quantity.
Oh, for sure. And what would you as a business owner accept? Certainly in our instance, in our business, we'd want more qualified businesses to speak to that are more aware of our products, that are more likely to buy. I couldn't really care I don't really mind so much that we've got 100 million people that have seen the ad. I'm more interested in the ones that, highlighting the ones that are interested, that want to take action, that are ready kind of now as well. Because we've got lots of campaigns that will pick up people in the future, like all the nurture campaigns and all of those kind of things, So that interest and desire might be generated today, but it might take you 3 months for them to trust you enough, for example. Certainly if you're doing a high ticket sale, if you're in the coaching space or in the event space, and you want to sort of sell a high ticket item, it doesn't necessarily be an event space. It could be any product that's kind of a high ticket, high end product. I wouldn't expect you to be able to convert somebody instantly with one piece of advertising. It's going to be a series of messages, and you might get them on the third or fourth message. So structuring your campaigns in such a way that you are getting that awareness out there first, but then you're retargeting, you're constantly speaking to and understanding what your customers actually want and how they're thinking, how they're feeling, those kind of things. They're the things that really make a big difference.
And I think what we're very, very good at is literally stripping everything back and understanding, right, this is what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to achieve new sales for the business, cash flow that helps the business grow and helps the business sustain. What do we need to do in order to create that?
It also keeps marketing as an investment rather than an expense as well, doesn't it? And I think that's, so many people we speak to, they just get burned, or they've tried something and it hasn't worked, so they've got zero results to show for it. So it's just expense, it's cost.
We love spending.
It doesn't need to be like that.
We love spending on. Genuinely, we do love spending on marketing because we know what we get back for it.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's how it should be. And once you have something that works and it clicks into place, that's how it should be.
Yeah, and then that becomes kind of scalable then, doesn't it? And we kind of do an incremental thing where we kind of, we only scale what works, really, don't we? And your philosophy has always been to find that secret recipe, if you like, that works for a client, and then scale what works, and then kind of turn off everything that's not really performing, isn't it?
We practice what we preach. At the end of the day, we've sort of our own marketing and advertising and videos that you see, ads that you see, is the exact same process that we do with you. It's a framework.
There's a lot about mining for diamonds and stuff, and you got there's that image of that guy that's literally like just that far away from that diamond, and he's given up and walked the other way, and it's like marketing's so like that, isn't it? 100%. And I think you never know quite how close you are to uncovering that diamond.
It's like marketing and sales and operations.
You kind of don't know until you do it, right? So once you've done it, and then you repeated it, and you repeated it again, and you repeated it again, and you become a specialist in creating a funnel, for example, that's successful. Because you pour something in the end and nothing comes out at the bottom, it's not successful, right?
It's easy.
So it's understanding where to look and how to fix those sorts of things. So that analogy is great, but a lot of our clients and potential clients will be the guys that are digging away, and they're thinking, oh, I'm going to give up, it's not working. Ultimately, they probably were doing the right things, but just there was maybe something missing from the funnel. Maybe there was an element missing. You created this business before I joined that was very clear about the fact it was a systems, automations, and kind of making yourself redundant from the day to day, and having a process to follow. And I think that's important, because most of the menial day-to-day marketing tasks, like following up on an appointment, making sure people are going to turn up and stuff, that used to be a manual process. That's very much something that could be done with automations now. And I think replacing a lot of those menial things so that people can focus on what they should be doing in their business is, it's massively important.
For you.
Yeah, go on.
There's just under 1,300, it's like 1,270 automations that we did through SAP and through Growth Toolbox, future automations across the board. And I looked at that and I thought, we've saved a lot of time and energy with doing that. Because it is important.
They have lots of leads coming into their business, but the one thing that they will collectively agree on is the fact that the CRM system, the Growth Toolbox that we use underneath it, and their ability to text out, to get conversations going, the fact that it pulls all of the information into one central place is worth its weight in gold, isn't it? We couldn't honestly put a value on the systems and the automations we provide. So regardless of where your leads are coming from, it really pulls all of your information together. The reporting it's able to do, the fact that you never miss a phone call, you got call recording on it, it's a fantastic piece of software. And to me, in terms of somebody's really hungry to drive and grow their business, but the thing that underpins it all is the systems and the automations that we provide for them. And they would come back to us to do more of that stuff. And to be honest with you, yes, they're probably great at the sales and the generating of the leads from all different sources, and they've recognised that relying on one source is dangerous. The fact that they rely on us to do that reactivation process and some of those automations for them, I think is very, very complimentary. That says that above all the things that's going on in the world, all the other agencies out there, all the other ways of generating leads, the one thing that pulls them back is the fact that our CRM is the thing that really underpins their business. And I think loads of coaches and consultants will tell you to kind of make yourself redundant from the business, get off the tools, whichever expression they use. Ultimately, that's great, but there's lots of people that are very resistant to that change as well, because they're very skilled at running their business. It might be like our business. You go back So just over a year ago, there was probably a smaller number of people in the team, and we were very much hands-on doing everything. The fact that we've recognised where we wanted to get as a business and grown a nice team and a very competent team. We haven't just got junior marketing people in our team. We've hired very senior people to kind of grow our team, and I think that's massively important. So even from the admin support, consultancy, coaching, training, delivery, sales, business development, we've covered all of those elements, and I think that's something I'm very proud of being able to have achieved in the last sort of 12 months really. But again, we're practicing what we preach. You saw very well saying you've got to grow your business, you've got to do this, but we're actually doing it ourselves as well.
Which is rare actually. Marketing companies are not the best marketing, they don't provide the best.
Somebody said to us this morning that the cleaners often have the dirtiest houses, and I don't know if that's true or not. I think I've been around a cleaner's house to be honest.
Do you know what? That reminds me. Last year we had probably 10, 11 marketing companies approach us to do their marketing. Yeah. Last year.
That's very true. Yeah, very true. And in fact, some of our biggest clients right now are people that have had goes at doing it in other ways, and then they've come back to us as well. So the grass is often greener, but ultimately I love this phrase, but the grass is greenest where you water it. And I think ultimately that where you put attention and focus is where you're going to get results. Same with all things.
What are you most excited for about 2025?
I've had this. I've had a wonderful marketing career. I was very lucky to do some amazing things in my career so far. The thing I love doing, and this probably sounds a bit cliche, but it's honestly true, honest truth. I really enjoy seeing people win, getting people results, being able to say I played a part, whether it's a small part, big part, or whatever part, to be recognised for somebody that's had an input in something where it's resulted in something significant in their business. And I really am looking forward in 2025. I've got lots of personal goals, but I'm really driven to try and help as many people as possible. And I think if we can help people understand, help educate people, get out there on the circuit ourselves, go and do lots of sort of shows and guest speaking and all sorts of stuff. I'd love to get on podcasts and things. I really think my mission for 2025 is to help as many people with their marketing as possible, get that word out there, and see results, but not just for vanity, but for really move the needle in businesses, really make results and differences in people's lives.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because helping people and getting them the results is actually not always tied to revenue, although that's probably 80% of what we do. Sometimes it's just putting process in place that makes their life easier, helping their employees so they're not scrambling around, focus on the right areas in the business. All of these, it's not always like money and revenue.
I'll tell you, a nice shift is that we're actually helping more people now that have marketing departments. So we're talking less to business owners, which is great. They'll give the final sign off, but a lot of marketing people are coming to us and saying, we really want to work with you. We've seen this, we've seen that. We've heard you guys are this, that, the other. I think that's very complimentary, isn't it?
Because they have really good teams. And once we put an overarching strategy in place and we work with them, then they smash it. People have great marketing teams. They don't necessarily always see a reflection back to sales. We implement the bit in between that maps out the strategy that does that, and then everyone wins. It's like,
and winning is probably again down to the perception of the individual. Like somebody's success might be a piece of content that goes viral. Other people's success might be finishing off a funnel that they've been working on for a long time, finally getting some decent conversion KPIs and those kind of things. And I think business owners that are more alert and astute, that know their numbers and know what they're chasing, they've got a sales target in mind, they know what their break-even numbers are. Those kind of people are the people that are seeing more benefit from really effective marketing. And I think lots of people do tick box marketing like that, a few posts on social media, a couple of emails here and there. They think they're doing the job, but there's a whole other world out there, isn't there?
Which doesn't really, it's like if anything, I get quite passionate about this on calls, is like most of the time it's a waste of time, because they could spend the same energy, they've got the same content, same copy, same energy, and put it into something that drives sales directly. I'm not saying social media is not a good use of time fundamentally, but there's better ways to spend resource.
It all plays a role in the overall marketing picture, I think, but there's things that move the needle way more. And in marketing, and it's something I obviously, as you know, in January, I passed my masters, and I've continued my professional development all through. Something I didn't necessarily consider was important, but then I realised, continually improving myself and learning from people, and I learn things from you all the time. I certainly don't know it all, but I found it very difficult going through my marketing journey to know where to focus. And there's lots of people that do work in marketing that are very niched, and they focus in on this one particular bit. There's lots of marketing people that are so broad and know little bits about lots of different things that are unable to really dial into certain things. So if somebody said, what do I do? I wouldn't say I'm a marketeer as such. Obviously I have a great understanding of marketing, but I would consider myself somebody that's really expert in helping businesses to grow. And I think that's a massive difference,
Marketing is a piece in the puzzle. And I had a similar realization, I guess, or journey or whatever, like this one piece, this one thing, digital marketing by itself will not really do much.
Correct.
You need like probably 8 different things to go into it.
It's like a soup, and you're pouring ingredients in, and you kind of have an idea of what soup you're making. Or some people make up the soup as they go along, and that's totally fine as well. There's no wrong way of doing it, but ultimately marketing departments and marketing functions are always gauged by the results that they deliver. And that you said earlier, there's this whole sales versus marketing thing, but they should be inextricably linked. There should be a massive relationship between the head of sales, head of marketing in any business, or the sales guy and the marketing guy, and they should be on the same page. They should be working together. How was that lead? Was it a good lead? Sales guys naturally, if they don't close it, are going to say it's a shit lead, but ultimately the right marketing person will understand why. Like, what was it about that client that they didn't understand, that they didn't go ahead?
Because when it came in, they said all the right things. So what happened in between?
And again, I'm not saying that every lead's a good lead, because we know that there's all sorts of different leads, but they've taken the effort to put their details in. So as long as it's the right phone number, right email address, and they are who they say they are, there must be an interest. But then so many businesses don't have a nurture process, and I think that scares me, that they spent all this time and money generating a lead, and then they maybe call it once, call it twice, and then that's it.
Just to say it straight, I think it's incredibly naive to think that inquiries that come in this day and age just require one contact, one call. It's a competitive world. People want things yesterday. Like, you've got to show them, especially if they've never heard of you before, you've got to show them why you're the best company. And that starts with that communication.
Well, one of the conversations I have literally every day with the clients that we onboard is, what makes you different? And it might be that there isn't anything different in your space. Maybe everybody's doing the same thing. What does one car garage have over another car garage? They're pretty much the same cars. It's a consumer-driven thing. But if you don't stop and think about what's going to make you different, what your USP is, what your promise is, what your angle is, it makes it very difficult to create a brand story and people to interact with you. So you're either a person that's got this nice quality, or you're a product that has this feature. But whichever way it is, you need to get to the bottom of what it is that makes people want to have that over all of the other products that are in the marketplace.
If not, if you don't have that, what makes us stand out, you're literally the same as all the others, race to the bottom. It's just based on price.
You might as well buy leads, honestly.
You don't want them to buy, you don't want them to base decisions on price. You want them to base decisions on quality and value and what's different.
And actually, a lot of the guys that we do speak with, they'll probably charge a little bit more, and they'll accept the fact that they're not the cheapest, because they've done that groundwork initially and said, we're not competing on price here. If you want our product, it's going to cost you. However, these are all the things that are going to give you extra value, and this is why you should buy from us. You obviously don't say it like that, but that's what your marketing needs to be doing. So then the salesperson's job is then to tap into the need, understand the desire, and then really work with that client to find a solution that solves their problem. And if they're not doing that, they're not buying. It's as simple as that.